I was like that period. Sometimes I'll be losing my breath.
It's
me that
natural.
hard.
Okay, no, I wouldn't say it's natural.
Like
it happens.
If you place yourself here
and all of a sudden
life brings you down here. Oh Lord. Just for them to like try to Key Johnson, and I keep Jimmy Hay Johnson. I'm going to be your captain for today's ride, and today I've got a co-captain and the person of Miss Ayina Favor China Zeber, and we've got one question for you. Are you ready to ride with us? If you're ready, then come down.
Give us. We need to take it. Give us. Give us.
Okay, on today's ride, we're going to talk about something I would just usually call my mess up story.
Yeah, kind of.
My mess up story, yeah. Like, whoa, like, if you've watched our friendship tag, you find out that both of us, we've been church girls all our life. And as a church girl now, you know there are some things that
standards
that
for yourself.
Both the ones your church members have set for you, the ones your parents have set for you, the ones your siblings have set for you, the ones you set for yourself. Like, there are just so many standards you set for yourself, and you just be hitting your heart and be like, I can never do this, yo.
No matter what.
No matter what happens, I can never do this. I can never return to Egypt, you know?
Never. But all of a sudden, what happens?
You can see it.
You see yourself swimming.
Jesus, like, okay.
It's well.
Sometimes it's not just from a place of I can never do it. Sometimes also comes from a place of you don't feel like you could have fallen short
of
something. Like you're level 10 and something happens that makes you or treats you like a level 0. Then you start asking yourself, is this really me? Like it just has a way of breaking you. Now I'm going to share this story. Like I had carryover in school. When I was in school, I had a carryover in my first year. I was down. Like I felt so bad. I felt like I had messed up so bad. Like I was like a whole me carryover, because before I got into school I used to feel like girl, smart girl, like I had never failed an exam.
Sounding like mine.
Are you serious? I felt like I've never failed an exam, you know, those kind of talk. See, our stories really sound like
I can't just tell.
Actually, I know my tune in my former life. You can go to like that. So, you know, I always feel like I was this smart student that can never fail an exam. Even it was so bad that I don't read. I wasn't reading then. So I always feel like even if I don't read, I'll still pass. In that first year, I actually did read. But some things happen. You know, when you go to a public school, there are just some nonsense that could happen and you can't do anything about it anyway. So if you school in a private university or in a university outside Nigeria, you're a bit like, you don't know what God did for you. So I had that carryover, babe. I was down for like 2 good days. I
can imagine the
feeling. Couldn't move. Hey. Like I was literally, like my heart was literally skipping. Like I could literally feel myself losing it. I was down. At that point, I called my mom. I called out like, mommy, what's up? Like this is so thing. And I really thank God for the kind of mom I have. My mom was like, calm down. It has happened. You're not going to kill yourself. Like just move forward. Like start seeing things from a brighter angle. Make sure it doesn't happen again. But don't sulk about what has happened. I was like that period. Sometimes I'll be losing my breath. It hits me that hard.
Okay, no, I wouldn't say it's natural, but
like
it happens.
If you place yourself here
and all of a sudden
life brings you down here.
Cool.
Oh Lord! Yeah. So I remember calling one of my friends. He was in another school, but the school was close to mine. I just called him. I was like, when I just felt like to call him. It's not like we're even that close or something. I just felt like to call him. I was like, hello, how are you? He was like, what is it? Because he knows me as a very good fellow. So I was like, why are you so down? I was like, I feel so bad. He was like, he told me come to my school. So because he was kind of busy, so he couldn't come. So I now went to school. So he now started talking to me about it, and I was like that. Yeah, that it has happened. You know, my mom was telling me I shouldn't kill myself about it, and that sometimes that when these things happen, life has a way of humbling you, and God has a way of breaking your wings, so that especially as his child or as a child that is interested in, so that you start depending more on him,
and know that you
your
need
own
that.
ability.
Yes.
You get exactly. You no longer be relying on your own ability. You get, so I don't know if you've been in that kind of situation.
I've been in that situation. So during my first year, I think that was when I recorded the only carryover I had, and it was in my best subjects back then in secondary school, mathematics. So you know that moment when you are having a carryover, and it's not just coming from another course, it's coming from a course. You are a jagaban.
Yeah.
And then I knew I went for competition, mathematics competition back then in secondary school. So you know, I just came for. I now came into school, you know how the setting would be, and it was always OBJ. So I felt since it's OBJ, it's something if I do guesswork, I could pass through. So after the exam, when the results came out, I realized I had carryover. I felt so broken because I had this target of I was gonna graduate with first class. You know now that from year one, if you come with this first class vibe. Then the 200 level, you now say 2-1 is not bad. It's still other companies normally take it. Then 300 level, be like
God beg.
God beg. Even if it's 2 but high 2. Then final year, that's when you go. You just be like,
I swear. So after all, I know how many people that was there for half 2-1 of first class. Funny enough, when I got into school, I actually had 2-1 in mind though. I never targeted first class.
I targeted first class. I felt since it's botany. I'll smash first class now, you understand? But it wasn't really a cause of my choice. I wouldn't say that was the reason I got, I felt that cause, no. But I felt I could scale through. So when the results came out, I realized I felt the cause. I felt so broken. I was so broken that I started calculating my GP to know if it will affect my first class, even in previous years. That means I have to maintain A's throughout. And I was like, you know, that moment when you not think of what's the possibility of me maintaining A's from 200 level to final year. So I felt so broken. It was just as if my heart was skipping. I couldn't feel my heart any longer. I was like, me, I don't even know how to talk about. Oh my god. So that experience was so hurting, and I just thank God I scaled through because I had to share with someone. The person was like, just build your courage, be okay, nothing. Just try to work on yourself in subsequent years. You will still meet up.
Just like I said, I never targeted first class when I got into school. I think it was even in second year when I entered, I entered my fellowship in first year, but when I became like more committed, like they kept talking about like my fellowship is my first. So one of the goal of core values is academic and vocational excellence. So they always talked about, you know, you can be the best, you can be a Christian and still be the best, you still have a first class and all that. So it was at that point that I felt like, oh wow, okay, first class is not bad. And then before I even saw that result, so but I was just had 2-1 in mind when I got it out. So because I just had this mindset that first class people are not usually smart and all that. Do you get?
Like we had that mentality actually. Just that they say they're always focused is book.
They don't dress well. If you have first class brain and opportunity,
I think that was even the main reason. Another reason I had this first class in mind. I was like, if I go into school, I'm gonna look hot. I will look good. Set my standard. I'll still come out with first class. You know, when you're period with that vibe,
so that you go and break the bias. So break the bias.
Right there, mathematics humbled me.
I swear, life. See, the thing is just that sometimes when these things happen, it has a way of shaping you and giving you a better mindset and experience.
It repositions you.
Yes, for what lies ahead. I thank God today that I had that
2-1
carryover.
Okay.
Yeah, I should have graduated with 2-1, but I thank God I had that carryover I had in my first year.
Yeah.
Do you get? So it helped me because then I was like 50 is the pass mark, and for a course like law, C is bad. So if you want to get a good result, just be targeting A, B.
And like, most times people offer 4 units.
For all our courses it's not even most times, all our courses are 4 units. So if you're getting a C, like you're failing.
Your GP is dwindling.
Like, oh, let's see be like the worst, like maybe that you had the bad semester, that you had a C. That was like my own standard after that first year. But in first year I was like, see, me as far as I'm not going to write it, the one's my own. I did not know that mindset would have drowned. There are people that did not have carryover in school, but they came up third class. So I think God used that thing as a wake-up call for me. Like I now realize that because one of the causes what affected me was that I wasn't giving CA. Meanwhile, I did everything. I came to class, wrote the test, wrote the assignment. I wasn't giving CA, so my exam score was not to 40. I think my exam score was 40 something. I can't remember 70. Do you get? So without CA, I now failed. Do you get? So it was just that for me. It really hurts me so bad. But after that, now maybe I start targeting higher exam scores. So when I'm writing an exam, I'm like, let the list be 50. Do you get? So that even if they don't give me C, I'll get C. So what now happened was, if I not get that 50 and I don't get the exam score, sorry, if I now target and hit that 50,
even if you
or
don't
45, without see I'll still pass.
Yeah.
Then we see I'll be hitting like B or A, as the case may be. So see, babe, I had 5 carryovers. You mean I had 5 carryovers in school, but how got it? In fact, I still ended up coming out with a 2-1, and it was that mindset that even though the second set that happened was a story for another day, but the point is that those things humbled the one that happened in the one. I was like, it humbled me. And apart from academics, there are just quite a lot of, okay, let me not say quite a lot, there are just some other things that have happened to me that I was like, me, I can never do this. Me, I can never do this. I pledge allegiance, I'll never do this. So I don't know, you've had that kind of experience. There's what we talked about the other day, and as she was just talking kids, I say, come to me, baby. I'm your senior colleague in this. Like, I've been there. Come to me, dear. I'm your senior colleague in this. I mean, it was just casual. I didn't know. I said, wahala, come to me. I'm your senior colleague. But one thing that these things help us become is, it helps us become, these kind of experiences help us become compassionate people, like less judgmental. Because when you've not flopped before, you think it's just because you're smart or because you're better than others. But when these kind of things happen to you, it has a way of bringing you to your consciousness, so that when you see someone else that's passing through it, you have compassion for the person.
Yes. You know how to handle that situation.
You're not going to be talking about exactly.
You have passed through it now. It's not but this one, if you remember the brokenness, then you just know how to put them through. And
also, it also, let's say, it also qualifies or gives more words to whatever advice.
You having some, yes, exactly.
For instance,
if you don't have experience, you can't.
You can actually, but there are some persons that will not just want to listen to you.
But when they hear
that you pass through the same thing, they'll be like, oh, okay, now. The guy I told you I went to talk to, like, when I had the carryover in my first year, I just called him. When I got there, I was like, have you had the carryover before? He told me yes. Then we can talk. I was like, then we can talk. So if I told me now that you can't relate, you can't just relate, you don't know how I'm feeling. If somebody now that loses the father is talking, is weeping, crying and all that, I think I'm in a better position to talk to the person than you. It's not like you won't have words
to tell me, but because you've been there.
Exactly. So like that personal experience. So sometimes when life humbles you, it has a way of making you a better person at the end of the day. Yes, sometimes you could lose out, but then that thing you lost, you could still regain it. And it also has a way of making you to stop beating your chest, because you are not infallible. And as far as you're a human being, you find out that that people make mistakes, people fail. So nobody is what? Perfect. Nobody is infallible. So that's our story for us. So what's your final word of advice?
Okay, my final word of advice is this: don't take pride in the mistake. Just to have this consciousness that you need help, you can't do it on your own. You understand? That's where when we normally talk about having the Holy Spirit beside you, having this cordial relationship with God, it helps you. So when you find yourself in that situation, you now know how to pull through. You don't take pride in it. It happens to you, fine, but it was to put you through a process so you can help some persons. So some mistakes are actually for reasons, but I keep saying it, don't take pride in it. Once it has happened, try to seek up.
My final word of advice is don't take pride in your mistake. Don't come and say, oh, I've done it, and like maybe you don't even want to come out of the mess. One word of advice I always tell you is that know that you are human, and being that you are human, you are
bound
not
to make mistakes.
Exactly, you're bound to make mistakes. You're not infallible. Do you get? So don't ever overrate yourself. Like, it's not like you don't have confidence. It's not like you don't have like that self-worth, self-esteem. But don't think that you can't fall short of something. Do you get? So come to it from the angle of, or approach issues, approach even things that you think you are talented at or you're an expert at. Approach them with the mindset that, okay, this thing is something I'm doing, and I'm doing it because of God's grace. I can misbehave one day, I can mess up one day, I can flop one day. When you have that mindset, when you flop, it doesn't hit so hard. Like, your ego won't be so hot.
Whether you are a mentor or not, because most times people who look up to you, they see that someone that is not capable of making mistakes, you understand? And now when you now pull down, when it brings you down, you be like, what about those looking up to me? How are they going to feel?
All of us
you now start feeling
look up to Jesus, the altar finish on your faith.
Nothing more. So it happens to anyone. It could happen. It could happen to me. It has happened to
us.
Me, like when we cleanse Jagaban, like nothing happens. We are so strong with that.
God will just give you one slide down like that.
You just be like, just like what happened. He said, I was just like, see, I can't tell it happened.
I said, hey, what? Please move move aside here, human being. So thank you guys for watching this video. Okay, do not like, subscribe, share. If you've not subscribed to this one, what is your problem? So subscribe so that you enjoy more fun, lovely, amazing content. Okay? Yeah, this is us signing out. Bye bye.
See ya later.
We are going to be talking about. What did I just speak? We are going to talk about